Life moves so quickly. We wake up, we rush. We chase after things that never seem to end. More money, more comfort, more recognition. But no matter how much we achieve, there is always a sense that something is missing. We think, if only I had that one more thing, then I would finally be happy. Yet the moment we gain it, the craving begins again. This cycle exhausts the body and weighs down the heart. The Buddha once said that the root of suffering is attachment. We cling to possessions, to desires, to our own expectations of how life should be. But life rarely obeys our wishes, so we struggle, we resist, and we suffer. If we can learn to loosen our grip, to accept what is, then peace begins to grow inside us. A person who knows how to be content is richer than a king. Imagine eating a simple bowl of rice and vegetables with gratitude. In that moment, it can taste better than a feast, because it is not the food that brings happiness, but the state of mind. If the mind is calm and grateful, every bite is a blessing. If the mind is restless and greedy, even the grandest meal feels empty. Think about anger. Anger is like fire in your hands. The longer you hold it, the more it burns you. When you explode at someone, you may hurt them with your words, but you also poison your own heart. Peace can never come from anger. To release anger does not mean weakness. It means strength. It means you choose not to let another person's actions control your peace. And what about desire? Desire is like a bottomless pit. No matter how much you throw inside, it is never full. One promotion at work leads to the next goal. One new car soon becomes old. One compliment disappears and leaves you hungry for more. If you keep chasing, you will never arrive. But if you pause, breathe and say, "This moment is enough," then the pit disappears. You stand on solid ground. Happiness is not found tomorrow. It is not hidden in some distant future. Happiness is always here, in the present moment. It is in the sound of the wind through the trees. It is in the smile of a friend. It is in the breath that keeps you alive. The challenge is not to search for happiness, but to recognize it, to stop running, and to finally see what has always been around you. So, let your heart rest. Let your breath guide you back to this moment. The past has already gone. The future has not arrived. The only place where life truly exists is now. And when you live in the now, with gratitude, with kindness, with awareness, then peace naturally flows through your body and mind. Many people spend their lives chasing after control. They want to control the future, control other people, even control every little detail of their day. But life cannot be controlled. The more we try to hold it tightly, the more it slips through our fingers like sand. Imagine trying to grasp water with your hands. The harder you squeeze, the faster it runs away. But if you gently cup your hands, the water stays. Peace comes not from control, but from learning how to flow. The Buddha's wisdom reminds us that clinging to certainty is like building a house on waves. Nothing lasts forever. Seasons change, bodies age, relationships shift, fortunes rise and fall. When we forget this truth, we suffer. But when we remember it, we can breathe with ease. We learn to enjoy each moment without demanding that it lasts forever. Think of a flower. It blooms beautifully for a time and then it fades. If you accept this, you can enjoy the blossom fully while it is here. If you fight against its fading, you will only feel pain. Life is like this flower. It is precious because it is brief. Gratitude is the bridge between suffering and peace. When you wake up in the morning, You can complain about the aches in your body, or you can feel thankful that you are alive, breathing, with another day to live. When you eat, you can focus on what you do not have, or you can appreciate the food in front of you, the hands that grew it, the earth that nourished it. Gratitude turns ordinary moments into blessings. Sometimes we think happiness will come when everything is perfect, when the job is better, the house is bigger, the body is healthier. But life is never perfect. There will always be something missing. If you wait for perfection, you will wait forever. The secret is to find joy in imperfection, to see beauty in what is already here. Consider relationships. People will disappoint you. They will say the wrong words, forget promises, act out of their own fears. If you expect them to be flawless, you will always be hurt. But if you see them as fellow travelers, struggling just like you, your heart softens. Compassion grows. Forgiveness becomes possible. The Buddha taught that compassion is the highest form of wisdom. To see another's suffering as your own is to awaken the deepest truth of being human, that we are not separate but connected. When you smile at someone, when you offer patience instead of anger, you are not only healing them, you are healing yourself. The path is not about escaping the world. It is about walking through the world with a different mind. Instead of chasing, we learn to rest. Instead of clinging, we learn to release. Instead of demanding, we learn to accept. And in that acceptance, there is a quiet joy that no one can take away. There are moments when life feels overwhelming. Bills pile up. Health declines. People you love misunderstand you. In these moments, the mind easily falls into despair. You begin to think that happiness is impossible, that peace is only for others. But remember this, the storm is not the sky. The storm passes and the clear blue sky remains. In the same way, suffering is not your true nature. Peace is always there, waiting beneath the storm of thoughts and emotions. When you practice awareness, you begin to see thoughts for what they are, just passing clouds. A thought of worry comes, and instead of becoming lost in it, you watch it float by. A memory of anger arises, and instead of letting it burn you, you breathe and let it drift away. Awareness is the space between the thought and your reaction. In that space, freedom is born. Sometimes people ask, how do I stop suffering? The answer is not to escape life, but to face it with a different heart. Pain will still come. Loss will still come. But your relationship to them can change. You can meet them with gentleness instead of resistance. You can let them move through you instead of holding on tightly. And strangely, when you stop fighting suffering, it loses its power. Joy is not separate from pain. They are two sides of the same coin. Without knowing sadness, you cannot recognize true joy. Without darkness, you cannot appreciate light. So do not curse the difficulties in your life. They are also teachers. They reveal the depth of your strength, the vastness of your heart. Look at your breath again. It comes in, it goes out. Sometimes deep, sometimes shallow. Each breath is a miracle. If you truly see this, even in hardship, you will smile. Because the breath reminds you that you are alive, still here, still capable of love. Generosity is another doorway to peace. When you give, not because you want something in return, but because you wish to share, your heart expands. A simple act, a kind word, a gentle touch, a meal shared can transform not only the other person but also yourself. The Buddha said that a gift given with a pure heart shines brighter than gold, And this gift does not need to be material. Even your patience, your time, your listening ear can be the greatest gift. So whenever you feel lost, return to the simple truths. Breathe. Be grateful. Be kind. Accept imperfection. Let go of anger. Offer compassion. These are not just spiritual teachings, they are practical medicine for the suffering of daily life. Many of us are tired not because life is heavy, but because our minds never stop. Notifications buzz, schedules stack up, and our attention is pulled in 100 directions. When your mind is scattered, peace cannot land. Choose small moments of silence each day. Before you check your phone in the morning, take 3 slow breaths. When you sit down at your desk, place your feet flat and feel the ground. When you arrive home, pause at the door and let the day fall off your shoulders. These little pauses are like gentle anchors. They keep you from being swept away. Words matter. Every sentence is a seed. What you say grows inside the people who hear it and also inside you. Before you speak, pause for a heartbeat and ask, is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Not every thought deserves a voice. Not every reaction needs to be released. Kind speech is not soft or weak. It is precise and honest without cruelty. When you practice this, your relationships begin to heal. Trust returns. Warmth returns. You feel lighter because your words are no longer carrying hidden blades. Work can be a place of stress, but it can also be a place of practice. The Buddha spoke of right livelihood, not just what you do, but how you do it. If your job is demanding, bring presence to one task at a time. Let your breath set the pace. If your work serves others, remember the human behind each request. If your work is routine, let repetition become a rhythm that calms you. Wash the cup, just wash the cup. Answer the email, just answer the email. When you do one thing with your whole attention, peace slips quietly into your day. Grief visits every life, a diagnosis, a breakup, a sudden loss. Do not rush to fix grief, hide it, or numb it. Sit with it the way you might sit with a friend who needs company. Breathe. Let the tears come when they need to. Grief is like waves. You cannot command the ocean, but you can learn to float. If you allow your heart to feel fully, it does not break. It opens. Through that opening, compassion for others grows. Self-compassion is not laziness. It is the steady hand you offer yourself when you stumble. Talk to yourself the way you would speak to a dear friend, with patience, with honesty, with care. When you make a mistake, acknowledge it, make amends if needed, and learn. Then release it. Carrying guilt like a stone does not purify you, it only exhausts you. Kindness needs boundaries. Compassion without wisdom can turn into enabling. Wisdom without compassion can turn cold. Saying no can be an act of love when it protects your time, your integrity, and your ability to keep showing up with a full heart. A clear boundary is a gift to you and to others. It prevents resentment. It invites mutual respect. Create simple rhythms for your day. In the morning, place a hand on your chest and one on your belly. Breathe slowly for 1 minute and set a quiet intention. Today, I will move gently and speak kindly. Before meals, pause and notice color, texture, scent. Whisper thank you to the farmers, the sun, the rain, and the hands that prepared the food. In the evening, review your day with warmth. What did I do well? Where did I fall short? What can I learn? Offer forgiveness to yourself and to anyone you found difficult. Then rest. Sleep is also part of practice. Loving kindness softens the heart. You can repeat simple phrases silently or aloud. May I be safe? May I be healthy? May I be peaceful. May I live with ease. Then extend the same wish to someone you love. May you be safe. Then to a neutral person. Then if you can to someone who is difficult. You are not excusing harm. You are freeing your own heart from hatred. This is courage. When confusion rises, return to what never leaves you. The breath. Inhale. Feel the cool air. Exhale. Soften the shoulders. Notice the body, the sounds around you, the contact with the chair or the floor. You are here. In this simple knowing, life becomes clear again. You do not need to hold the whole world. You only need to meet the next moment with awareness and care. This is enough. We spend so much time running toward tomorrow that we forget today is already here. The mind whispers, I'll rest when this project is done. I'll enjoy life when the kids grow up. I'll be happy when I retire. But life is not waiting. The years pass quickly. And while you prepare to live, life is already being lived. The Buddha's teaching is simple. Do not miss the present moment. The present is the only place where peace is possible. The sound of rain, the warmth of sunlight, the laughter of a child, the quiet rhythm of your own breath, these are not small things. They are life itself. You do not need to wait for a special occasion to feel joy. Joy is already here, woven into the ordinary. The challenge is not to find more joy, but to notice the joy that is already present. When you eat, really eat. Taste the flavors, feel the textures. Let the meal be more than fuel. Let it be a reminder of connection. The farmer, the soil, the rain, the sun, all have joined together to create what sits on your plate. Gratitude turns eating into a meditation. When you walk, really walk, notice each step, feel the ground beneath you. Walking does not have to be a race, it can be a prayer. Our culture teaches us to measure life by achievements, titles, possessions, trophies, numbers in a bank account. But none of these can bring lasting peace. If they could, the richest and most successful people would always be the happiest. Yet many are restless, anxious, unfulfilled. True wealth is the ability to sit quietly and feel content. True success is to have a heart free of bitterness. Fear often keeps us from living fully. Fear of failing, fear of rejection, fear of death. But fear is only a shadow created by the mind. When you turn to face it, the shadow dissolves. You realize that fear has no substance of its own. Courage does not mean you never feel fear. Courage means you move gently forward, even while fear walks beside you. Think of death not as an enemy, but as a teacher. Knowing life will end makes each day precious. Imagine if you had forever. You might waste time, take people for granted, postpone kindness. But because life is fragile, every hug matters. Every word of love carries weight. Every sunrise is a gift. Death teaches us to live deeply now, to say thank you while we can, to forgive while we can, to love while we can. Community also brings strength. Walking the path alone is difficult. Surround yourself with those who share your values of kindness and awareness. Friends who remind you to breathe when you forget. Companions who help you return to what matters when you get lost in noise. Even one true friend can be a lighthouse in the storm. And you too can be that lighthouse for someone else. Happiness does not come from adding more, but from seeing more clearly. When the fog of craving lifts, you discover that peace has been here all along. When you release the need to chase, you realize you already stand in the place you've been running toward. Life is not waiting at the finish line. It is breathing with you now. Sometimes we imagine that awakening is something dramatic, like a lightning strike or a vision. But in truth, awakening is often gentle. It comes in quiet moments when the mind is still. You might notice it while washing dishes, when you suddenly feel grateful for the warm water and the simple act of cleaning. You might notice it while walking in the park, when you realize the trees are not just scenery, but living beings, sharing the same air as you. Awakening is not about leaving ordinary life. It is about seeing ordinary life clearly. When you live with awareness, even suffering becomes part of the path. Imagine a thorn in your foot. At first it brings pain, but it also brings awareness. You stop rushing, you walk more carefully, you pay attention to each step. In this way, suffering can guide you back to presence. The Buddha never promised that life would be free of pain. He taught that by understanding pain, we can free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. Attachment is like tying yourself to a heavy stone. You try to walk, but the stone drags behind. You feel tired, frustrated, trapped. Letting go is not losing, it is freeing yourself. The stone was never part of you. You carried it because you believed you must. But once you release it, your steps become light. You realize freedom was always possible. Think of the way the sky holds both clouds and sunlight. The sky does not choose one or reject the other. It allows both and remains vast. In the same way, your heart can hold both joy and sorrow. You do not need to push sorrow away or cling to joy desperately. Let both come and go and discover the vastness of your own heart. Forgiveness is an essential practice. Carrying resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. Anger eats away at your peace, not theirs. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting or excusing harm. It means you decide not to let the past chain you. You release the grip of bitterness so that your heart can heal. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. The practice of compassion begins small. Hold the door for someone. Offer a smile to a stranger. Listen without interrupting. These small acts ripple outward. You may never know how deeply a single kind word affects another person. Perhaps it gives them strength to face a hard day. Perhaps it reminds them that goodness still exists. Compassion is never wasted. Meditation is often misunderstood. It is not about escaping thoughts or reaching some special state. It is simply about noticing. Noticing the breath, the sensations in the body, the rise and fall of thoughts. Over time, you see that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. This realization changes everything. When anger arises, you can observe it instead of becoming it. When fear arises, you can hold it gently instead of letting it rule you. So do not wait for awakening to arrive in some grand way. It is already available in the simple acts of daily living. When you drink a glass of water with full presence, that is awakening. When you take a step with awareness, that is awakening. When you choose kindness over anger, that is awakening. And each small awakening adds up to a life of peace. True freedom is not about doing whatever you want. True freedom is about not being a prisoner of your own mind. If anger controls you, you are not free. If desire pulls you endlessly, you are not free. If fear whispers in your ear and you obey, you are not free. Freedom is the ability to pause, to choose wisely, to act with clarity instead of compulsion. Look at a bird in the sky. It does not carry yesterday's branches on its back. It flies lightly only with what it needs in the moment. We too can live like that. But instead, We carry regrets, grudges, endless to-do lists. No wonder we feel heavy. When you set down the weight you do not need, you discover your wings. Simplicity is a great teacher. The more clutter you clear, the more space you feel inside. This does not only mean cleaning your house, though that helps. It means letting go of mental clutter too. Old stories you tell yourself, I am not good enough, I must be perfect, I cannot change. These stories weigh more than furniture. When you drop them, suddenly life is lighter. Consider how much time is lost in comparison. You look at someone else's success, beauty, or possessions, and you feel less. But comparison is a thief. It steals gratitude from your own heart. Everyone's path is different. A flower does not look at another flower and feel inferior. It simply blooms. You're not here to be someone else. You're here to be fully yourself. Technology connects us, but it also distracts us. Hours vanish scrolling through other people's lives. You begin to think you're missing something. But what you miss is your own life, happening right now. Set the phone down for a while. Step outside. Feel the breeze. Call someone you love and truly listen. These are the moments you will remember, not the endless stream of images on a screen. Silence is not emptiness, it is nourishment. In silence, you hear your own heart. In silence, you notice the world more vividly, the chirp of a bird, the rustle of leaves, the rhythm of your breath. Many fear silence because it feels unfamiliar. But once you welcome it, silence becomes a friend. It holds you gently, without judgment, without demand. Patience is also a practice of freedom. Life unfolds in its own time. Seeds sprout when they are ready, not when you demand. Healing takes the time it needs, not the time you prefer. Rushing only creates more suffering. Patience is not passive. It is active trust. It is the confidence that life knows its own rhythm. So walk more slowly, speak more kindly, let go more often, live more simply. This is not weakness, it is the deepest strength, it is the way of peace. Every human heart longs for happiness, yet most of us search in the wrong places. We look outside at possessions, at recognition, at pleasures, hoping they will fill the emptiness inside. But outer things cannot heal inner wounds. The Buddha reminded us again and again, happiness is an inside job. It begins with the way you see, the way you think, the way you treat yourself and others. Consider how often you speak harshly to yourself in your own mind. Words like, I'm not enough, I'm a failure, I'll never change. If you spoke to a friend this way, they would feel crushed. Yet, we do it to ourselves daily, without question. No wonder we feel heavy. True compassion must begin within. Speak to yourself with the same patience and encouragement you offer others. Every time you replace self-criticism with kindness, your heart becomes lighter. Life is not a straight line. There will be detours, setbacks, and surprises. Sometimes what feels like a wrong turn is actually guiding you to where you need to be. Trust that the path unfolds with wisdom, even when it does not match your plans. A seed does not grow into a tree overnight. Seasons of waiting are not wasted. They are part of growth. Peace is not about escaping difficulty. Peace is about meeting difficulty without being destroyed by it. Imagine sitting by a river. A leaf floats by. You notice it and you let it pass. Another comes and another. You do not need to jump in and chase them. Your thoughts, your emotions, your challenges, they are leaves on the river. Watch them. Let them come and let them go. You remain the riverbank, steady, present, unmoved. Love is the highest energy, not the love that clings or demands, but the love that wishes well for all beings. When you practice this kind of love, your heart feels wide, like the sky. You do not lose yourself, you expand. You see even those who are difficult as part of the great web of life, worthy of compassion. This love heals division. It softens bitterness. It reminds you that we all share the same longing to be safe, to be seen, to be loved. Do not underestimate the power of small daily practice. A few mindful breaths in the morning, a moment of gratitude before eating, a pause to listen deeply to someone. These are simple acts, yet they build the foundation of peace. Spiritual growth is not about grand gestures, it is about consistent presence. Step by step, breath by breath, kindness by kindness, you transform your life. When the mind grows restless, return to simplicity. Ask yourself, what is here, right now? The breath, the body, the sound of life around you. This moment is enough. When you stop demanding more from it, you discover it already contains everything you need. Awareness, gratitude, love. These are treasures that no one can steal. In the end, every teaching returns to one truth. Life is precious and peace is possible here and now. You do not need to wait for another lifetime or for some perfect future. Peace is available in this breath. Freedom is available in this step. Happiness is available in this very moment. The Buddha did not ask us to believe blindly. He asked us to look directly at our own lives. Notice how craving always leads to restlessness. Notice how anger always leaves you tired. Notice how gratitude softens your heart, how kindness brings a quiet joy, how letting go feels lighter than holding on. These are not theories, they are truths you can taste for yourself. So when the mind tells you, I must have more, smile gently and remember, enough is already here. When anger burns in your chest, breathe deeply and release the fire before it consumes you. When fear whispers, you cannot, answer softly, I will try anyway. Each time you choose awareness over reaction, compassion over judgment, patience over hurry, you are walking the path of peace. No one can walk it for you. Teachers can point the way. Scriptures can offer guidance. Friends can encourage you. But the steps are yours. The good news is that every step counts. Even the smallest step toward awareness is progress. Even the smallest act of kindness changes the world in ways unseen. Remember that life is short. Do not postpone love. Say the words, offer the hug, share the laughter. Forgive quickly. Live gently. When your last day comes, you will not regret the times you chose compassion, patience, or gratitude. You will only regret the times you held back your love. So breathe deeply now. Place your hand on your heart. Feel it beating. That rhythm is the song of life itself. As long as it beats, you have the chance to love, to forgive, to awaken. Let this awareness guide you. Let it remind you that the way to peace is not far. It is right here, in this breath, in this step, in this moment. May you walk gently. May you love deeply. May you live awake.